take a deep breath, take the higher road. That's what they always say, as if they know the way. They won't take it from me. But don't ever doubt yourself, 'cause life ain't just a dream. You make your own, so kick and scream. The people will act with a never-ending force. You never had the chance, so what you waiting for? The day has come, my friend, 'cause this is war. It's time and this is war.
Homeopathy, a fascinating and alternative approach to medicine, has a rich and intriguing history that spans centuries. From its humble beginnings to its modern-day resurgence, the evolution of homeopathy is a testament to the enduring power of natural healing. Dating back to the late 18th century, homeopathy was founded by Samuel Hahnemann, a German physician and chemist. Driven by his dissatisfaction with the harsh medical practices of his time, Hahnemann sought a gentler and more holistic approach to treating ailments. Through rigorous experimentation and observation, he developed the fundamental principles that form the foundation of homeopathic medicine today. At its core, homeopathy embraces the concept of like cures like. This principle suggests that substances capable of producing symptoms in healthy individuals can be used in highly diluted forms to stimulate healing in those experiencing similar symptoms. This notion challenged conventional medical wisdom, but gained traction as patients experienced remarkable recoveries under homeopathic treatment. Throughout history, notable figures have championed homeopathy's efficacy and contributed to its growth. From royal families seeking alternative remedies to influential writers like Mark Twain advocating for its benefits, homeopathy gradually gained recognition worldwide. Fast forward to today, where we are witnessing an exciting resurgence in interest towards holistic approaches to health. As people seek alternatives to conventional treatments with their potential side effects, they are turning once again towards homeopathy for answers. As we delve into the history of homeopathy, we uncover a tapestry woven with remarkable stories of healing and resilience. From its humble beginnings to its enduring presence in modern healthcare, homeopathy continues to captivate minds and inspire hope. You're listening to Nurses Out Loud on America Out Loud Talk Radio. I'm your host, Nurse Kimberly Overton. Before we get started today, I do want to encourage our listeners, if you have questions or comments, or perhaps you want to share your own experiences with what you're seeing on the front lines of healthcare, you can now submit those to us by sending them directly to nurses@americaoutloud.com. We will be featuring your questions and comments every Tuesday on a special Q&A episode with the nurses. We encourage all of you to engage in the battle and find your voice in this fight. But until you are able to do that, we will continue to be that voice for you. Joining me today is holistic registered nurse, health coach, and practical homeopath, Nicole Pavlik. Nicole is a wife to her best friend and a mom to 7. She attended Brookdale to receive her associate's degree in nursing. After struggling with her own autoimmune issues and working in long-term care with the elderly, seeing their struggles firsthand, she quickly realized the healthcare system was lacking and knew there had to be a better way. She attended Pacific College of Oriental Medicine, where she earned her bachelor's degree in holistic nursing. She also studied at the Dr. Josh Axe Institute of Medicine to become an essential oils coach, at the Transformative Nurse Coach Collective, where she has become a board-certified nurse health coach. She is also an ear seeds practitioner, a study group leader of Joette Calabre's homeopathy curriculum, as well as global leader of practical homeopathy. She later attended the Joette Calabre's Academy to become a practical homeopath. She also has training in Reiki and is an EFT practitioner. Nicole is now the owner of Goodness Grover PMA, a private membership association she created in her father's name after he was killed in a tragic accident. She believes life is short and we must seize all opportunities to live life to the fullest. Her passion is holistic health and helping others achieve it. Her motto, empowering families to take charge of their health. Through Goodness Grover, she offers various opportunities for education, including hosting classes and workshops, both virtually and in person. She is a sought after public speaker and offers products that give people the tools they need to help them achieve true wellness. Nicole, thank you for being here today.
Thank you so much, Kimberly. I'm glad to be here. I'm happy to be here with you. What an honor it is actually to be here with you today. So thank you so much.
Oh, absolutely. I'm excited. I feel like this is really long overdue. I've been wanting to have you on for a while. You've spoken at several of our events now with the American Freedom Nurses Summit. So some of my listeners might recognize your name certainly from that. And we just had one, what was it, about a month ago, I guess, a month ago in Scottsdale, Arizona, where you came out and gave an incredible presentation. So thank you for always being available and really kind of jumping on board with us when we're trying to get this message out.
Absolutely. No, it's my pleasure. And you are definitely right. We are long overdue. We've been connected for, a few years now, I think, right? And
Oh, yeah.
but I'm more than happy to stand by your side and to join you in everything that you're doing because, your mission is my mission, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And collaboration is key. That is how we are going to absolutely start shifting the paradigm in healthcare is by coming together because we all have, our niche and we all have our piece of the puzzle. And when we can bring it together, that's when real change is going to occur. And it's so needed. It's so necessary. But I want to talk a little bit about just your personal experience. You had some autoimmune health issues, which is pretty common, actually. And my we can go there if you want. But my personal opinion is that we're all vaccine injured on some level, and I truly believe that all of these autoimmune issues that we have are stemming from things like vaccine injury. I believe that's what caused my own vaccine injury after a 3 series Hep B when I came into healthcare. It was not long after that I was diagnosed with autoimmune. But dealing with your own personal experiences with this, how has that shaped your journey to become a holistic registered nurse and homeopath?
Yeah. Well, first of all, it's interesting that you said Hep B because when I first started with my struggles, I wasn't immediately connecting it to a vaccine injury until recently. Actually, only last year, I found out from my mom that I actually had never had the Hep B shot. So when I became a nurse's aide and I was in nursing school, I had to, they realized that I was not immune to Hep B and I had to get the Hep B shot, and I only made it through the first dose. And that's when all of my health problems, I could date a lot of it back to childhood. So I think there was probably some injury there, but it wasn't really until, I got that Hep B shot where my whole system crashed, and I can date it back to that Hep B shot. So that's really interesting that you mentioned the Hep B, and that's also the vaccine that I believe injured my son as well. But I'll start with, just a little bit of, my history and how I got here and how it, how it led me here really. So, I spent all of my 20s incredibly sick, going from doctor to doctor, being told that I needed to eat better, I needed to sleep better, I needed to exercise. All my tests were normal. And, I just kept getting symptom after symptom. I started to begin to think that maybe I was a hypochondriac because they just couldn't find anything. And so I spent 10 years of my life doing that until I got to the point where I just couldn't push myself anymore. I went into the doctor's office and, said, I'm dying. I have cancer. You guys missed something. Like my whole body system was shutting down at that point. And the doctor looked at me and said, oh, it's probably your thyroid. And that was the first time anyone had checked my thyroid. My TSH was 242. For those that don't know, it's not supposed to be over 4.5. The American Thyroid Association says 3.0. And if you're trying to conceive or seeing a rheumatologist, they say 1. Mine was 242. My free T3 and free T4 were, which is your actual thyroid hormone, were undetectable on the lab. So I had nothing. And the doctor looked at me and he said, "I'm surprised you were standing in my office that day with how sick you were." And I said to him, "Well, when you tell someone for 10 years of their life that they're essentially crazy, you just keep pushing yourself." I was already a mom and I, was already in nursing school and trying to live my life. And just pushed myself until I couldn't anymore. So that was my first experience of being let down by the healthcare system. I mourned my 20s and I was very upset about it, but I'm not the kind of person that stays down for long. So I started researching everything I could about thyroid health, which led me to holistic health and realizing that, there was a better way to treat your thyroid condition. So I started down that path. I studied everything there was to know about thyroid and nutrition mainly. And then, by the time I did actually become a nurse, I knew right away that I didn't want to be in the system. And so I knew right away that I was going to be going back to school for holistic nursing because of my own struggles. But I became very passionate about helping other people after that because I didn't want to see people go through what I went through, which was essentially a misdiagnosis or being undiagnosed. And hypothyroid affects so many people. And as you mentioned, right, a lot of it is autoimmune and a lot of it is probably a vaccine injury. So my story kind of aligned with going down the holistic path. Vaccines also fell in my lap at the same time. My son, who I was pregnant with 6 months after being diagnosed with hypothyroid, after not having any more children for 7 years. So there was some infertility issues there. Um, I I was pregnant with him 6 months later. So his journey kind of aligns with mine because during that pregnancy, I actually received a flu shot because I did not know anything about vaccines yet at that point. I was just getting into holistic health. So he received that flu shot. He was born in respiratory distress. And what that did was that delayed his Hep B shot that we were just speaking about. And so I was able to actually see a reaction happen to him at 2 weeks old. Whereas if they gave it on the first day of life, like they normally do, I probably would have missed that. But vaccines fell into my lap at that same time. So then I became very passionate about learning everything that I could about not only holistic health, but vaccine health. And then, from there, I just kept going. I just kept accumulating information, education, and became passionate about helping people, learn how to prevent, vaccine injuries, adverse reactions, and these autoimmune conditions. And I'm very solutions based. So I wanted to know how can we heal from this? And every time I get answers, my passion is just to share it with anybody that'll listen to me.
That's what I really love about you, Nicole, is that you are, you're very solution oriented as I am, as we are at Remnant Nursing. And that's what really draws me to you and to your work. But you know what I really find interesting, and I would love to kind of get your take on this, since you've had the benefit of going to a traditional nursing school and then a holistic nursing school, and you have the benefit of being able to compare and contrast the two. How different was the program, the traditional nursing program, and what you learned versus what you learned in the holistic, and how much of that was just kind of contradicted one another?
Oh, this is probably one of my most favorite questions I've ever been asked, Kimberly. I love this question. I don't think I've ever actually been asked this question.
Really?
So yeah, no. So in conventional nursing school, as we're mainly taught, we're taught about the body and how it works, right? And we are taught a lot about medications and their side effects, potential side effects. But the one thing that we don't learn in conventional school is anything about vaccines and their side effects. We're literally just taught the schedule. We're not taught anything on nutrition. there's not much of a holistic approach in the conventional nursing program, but I did learn, critical thinking from nursing school. I won't say nursing school was a total waste, right? I learned and took what I needed from it. We'll say that. But in holistic nursing school, it was a completely different paradigm. It actually didn't feel like school because it was so exciting to learn all these different healing modalities, and different ways, just to heal the body. But I will say this, even of holistic nursing school, which was interesting to me. I did not know what homeopathy was, from holistic nursing school. I actually learned it outside of holistic nursing school and then decided to go back to school to become a homeopath. But it's not touched on in the holistic nursing program, which I found really interesting. And later I had a student that was a naturopathic doctor, and she said they barely touched on homeopathy in her program as well. So
Really?
I wanted to throw that contrast in there too, because homeopathy is a holistic modality, but it's its own category of medicine. It's not just an umbrella term for all natural medicine, which a lot of people think. And so we didn't learn homeopathy in those programs, which I found really, really interesting.
Yeah, I'm surprised to hear that actually. So for people who may not understand, and I think there is that, that common misconception and misunderstanding about homeopathy, that it is kind of just all holistic health, or, it's all encompassing of just kind of the alternative healthcare system. Can you touch a little bit about on the history of homeopathy, how it came to be, and how did we stray away from this?
Yeah, that's a loaded question. So
Yeah,
it might be a little
I'm
bit long.
famous for those, Nicole.
And I love answering them, so I'm just warning you.
Great.
So homeopathy is natural, right? It's made from natural substances, but like you mentioned, people think that it's an umbrella term for all natural medicine. People use the word homeopathics interchangeably with holistic remedies, and they're not one and the same. They're actually their own category of medicine, like I said. And it was actually interesting how it was discovered. So it was discovered in the 1800s by Dr. Samuel Hahnemann, and he was a doctor who was tired of the current medical care system, right? Which is what we're dealing with right now. They were doing some extreme, crazy practices like bloodletting, right? Where they would let out the blood. And he was like, we are not supposed to be harming people, right? We're supposed to be helping people, and this is killing people. And there was no basis for it, right? This was a practice that they were doing that there was no basis for, and he wanted out of the system. He wanted to find what true healing was. And so he actually found or came up with this theory of like cures like, and that is what homeopathy is founded on. So, an example of like cures like means that if you take a very minute substance of anything that will cause a symptom, it's actually going to negate those symptoms in a sick person that's already experiencing those symptoms, right? So, like cures like. Yeah. So, an example of that is allium cepa. So, allium cepa is made from the red onion. And when you have, when you cut it into an onion, your eyes might tear, they might water, they might become itchy, your nose might start running, right? So, if you give homeopathic allium cepa, which is a homeopathic version of the red onion, to a person experiencing those symptoms, it's actually going to stop those symptoms, which is pretty fascinating.
Interesting. So for allergies, that sort of thing.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So most people can relate to the fact that allergies are, something that's very prevalent right now. So that's an example that most people can relate to. But another example that I really love to share with people is apis. So apis is actually made from honeybee venom, right? So honeybee venom we think is kind of, it's not, we wouldn't think that to be curative, right? but actually when it's made into a homeopathic remedy, it can actually stop things that could be caused by being stung by a bee, right? So when you get stung by a bee, sometimes there's redness or swelling, you might experience hives, and if you're really allergic, you can even experience anaphylaxis, which is your throat closing, right? So if you give somebody this remedy, Apis, you can actually stop an allergic reaction, which
That's
I think
amazing.
is so powerful because I don't know any other, natural medicine that can actually stop an allergic reaction
So
like
it's like
that.
a like nature's EpiPen almost.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. My son's anaphylactic to peanuts, my injured son. And we carry Apis instead of an EpiPen.
Now let
I've
me
walked.
ask you, what is the price point for Apis to carry that around for an allergic reaction?
Oh my gosh, that's a great question too. So homeopathy is so inexpensive, right? So like a little, there's plenty of different brands that you can get, but just like a little tube of homeopathy, if the tube of Apis is like $12.
Really?
Yeah.
And what is it? What was it the last price point on an EpiPen? It's thousands of dollars, is it not, to be able to have these EpiPens on hand?
Right, right. They're costly, and insurance sometimes doesn't cover them. And I've gotten to the point in my career and in my journey that I don't want to be dependent on the system if I don't have to be. And for something that's life-saving like an EpiPen, you are still dependent on the system, right? You need to go to a doctor, they need to write the prescription, and then you need to go to the pharmacy and they need to fill that prescription, and then you need to pay a lot of money for it, right? So how empowering is it to be able to have a life-saving medicine and not need to be dependent on the system in order to have that? There's
That's
just nothing
amazing.
better than that to me.
Yeah. And so I guess now when you're doing your health coaching, are you strictly doing homeopathy, or do you try to kind of integrate that in with other parts of medicine into your practice to create
Yeah,
that kind
so
of holistic wellness?
Yeah, so it depends on the person, right? I try to meet people where they're at. And so some people are not ready for homeopathy because they don't know about it yet. They don't understand about it, which is why I try to educate others on it. And then, some people want it all. So I could just use homeopathics and help people heal with just that. But there are some people that have really been through the system, right? And the system has done a number on them mentally and emotionally. And so for those people, a lot of times they might need the coaching along with the homeopathy. Some people I could just treat with homeopathy alone because they're kind of already there. They already understand homeopathy, or they at least understand the value in holistic medicine. And then, like I said, there's some people that they're not open to homeopathy just yet, but then we do coaching on other, I haven't given up completely on my holistic training. So, if people do need, nutrition guidance or supplements, or, a guidance on herbs or essential oils and things like that, I can still help with those things.
Yeah. And as far as like how do you're if you're navigating these challenges because you're trying to integrate these homeopathic treatments into this broader healthcare system that doesn't recognize the validity of homeopathy. It's, everything is written off as quackery. Unfortunately, if it's outside of the mainstream system. So how do you navigate those challenges and try to really bring that I know you're meeting people where they're at, and but what are some of the techniques that you use to try to integrate it?
So number one, that's why I teach classes. That's why I educate people about it. I encourage people to learn about it because once they learn about it, their world gets flipped upside down. And then they're like, oh my gosh, I need this in my life. Another thing that I do is I do a lot of vendor events so I can put it out on the table. People see it, they know, they're asking questions, and then I get to tell them about it in that way. And then the people that are coming to me, a lot of times they've been so damaged by the system that they're willing to try anything at that point. They've tried all the conventional things, they've tried all the holistic modalities. And my mentor, Joette Calabrese, she used to say that, people didn't come skipping into my office, they came crawling in. Right. And that's the state of people that I'm seeing. I'm seeing very, very sick people that have just, it becomes this, right? It becomes a revolving door for the pharmaceutical industry. I mean, these people have been, suppressing their conditions for years with antibiotics and steroids and Tylenol and all the other medications that we give, we suppress, and we're actually making it worse. But the nice thing with homeopathy too is that there are no side effects to it, which people really like, and there are no interactions with other medications or even holistic, supplements. So again, meeting people where they're at is really easy with homeopathy because they might be willing to add this in conjunction to whatever they're doing, whether it's conventional or holistic or both.
And isn't there and I'm not all that familiar with homeopathy. I'm looking forward to, and we're going to touch on this in a little bit. I'm looking forward to taking your class and learning and becoming certified as a homeopath, a homeopathic practitioner. But I don't know a whole lot about it right now. So but I've heard that it can be, is it like you can only have it on an empty stomach? You can't take it with food, or is there some kind of challenges around scheduling your day or something like that with?
Yeah, that's a good question. So in classical homeopathy is a little more strict, right? A lot of classical homeopaths find your one remedy that's good for just you. But with practical homeopathy, we've actually developed, I say we, it wasn't me, I didn't do it, right? It was the doctors Banerjees in India, who Joette Calabrese learned directly from, and then brought it back here to the US and then started teaching all of us. But they developed protocols that are easy to use, and they are scientifically backed. They have lots of data. They were seeing, each practitioner was seeing over 100 patients per day. India is very overpopulated, so they were seeing a lot of people, and they started realizing that a lot of the same combination of remedies were helping people with specific medical conditions. And their plan was actually to bring this to the AMA, to kind of, help reform healthcare. And Joette's plan was to bring it to America and put it in the hands of families, because we're the ones that are going to kind of, spread this amongst each other. And I'm kind of doing a hybrid of that, right? My goal is empowering families, but I'm also trying to bring it to the holistic healthcare practitioners. So, to get back to the original question, though, with the way these protocols are set up, because we're taking them, usually they're administered twice a day, right? Or once a day or once every 3 days, depending on what the protocol is. You're getting more chances at taking these remedies, where in classical homeopathy, a lot of times you might take one dose like once a week or once a month. And so you don't want to risk antidoting it, right? And so that's where those rules come from, as far as, not eating or drinking near it. Some people have been told, not to take any peppermint in or coffee or anything that would potentially antidote it. And with the Banerjee protocols, we don't see those same rules applying, which is really nice and really freeing, and makes it a lot easier for more mainstream people to follow as well, because it's kind of hard to time those things in our busy lives, right?
Right, especially when you're talking about coffee. And I will say, and I'm just going to tell my listeners, if I seem a little off, I'm on day one of a 3-day water fast. So I'm trying this out, for obviously there's many, many health benefits of it, trying to kick off another detox of my system and really pick up where I left off in Colombia. So if I seem a little off today, or if my words are a little jumbled, That's why. I'm not having a stroke or anything like that. I just am only on water for the last, I don't know, 18 to 20 hours. So it's been an interesting day. Um, it's the food is fine. It's no coffee that just kills me, but
You sound fine, and I think you're going to be better for it. I
thank you.
definitely think you're going to feel better, so it's good.
Absolutely. I look forward to it. And I think, you know what, after these last 3 years, I think I can do absolutely anything. So 3 days of just water is cake. Which is kind of
Absolutely.
a funny thing to say.
If anyone can do absolutely anything, Kimberly, it's definitely you.
Oh, God bless you. Thank you, Nicole. You're amazing. Well, we have so much more to dig into. We're going to go ahead and take a really quick break. America Out Loud Talk Radio plays on the iHeartRadio network. You can listen on our media player from any web browser anywhere in the world. We have the best in-class apps available on Apple, Android, or Alexa 24/7. Great Talk Radio. All of our shows go to podcast the following day. You can hear them on apps such as Spotify, Stitcher, Pandora, iHeart Podcast, and many more. Be sure to subscribe and rate the show on Apple Podcasts for me. Don't forget to check out our online store at americaoutloud.shop, where you can find all of the products that we represent on our network at a discounted rate, including ASEA Redox, which I can personally speak to seeing fantastic results with, including better sleep, increased energy, improved mood, and a decrease in my joint pain. Use promo code OUTLOUD to save 15% off your purchase. We'll catch you on the other side of this break. Stay with us.
It's time and this is what.
This is Jody O'Malley with Nurses Out Loud. Did you know our body is made up of trillions of cells, and inside each cell, redox signaling molecules are produced? These molecules hold a sacred place in chemistry because as we age, the vital communication of our immune system to keep our bodies free from harmful bacteria, viruses, and toxins become less efficient. For the first time ever, ASEA brings you the power of these molecules in a convenient and potent form to provide your body with the essential support it needs to thrive. Ever since I toured their facility, I take 2 ounces in the morning and evening, and my vitality and energy has been restored at a time I needed it the most. Go to americaoutloud.shop and get your exclusive 15% discount by using the code OUTLOUD.
Spike proteins help viruses enter into your cells, disrupting your health and your well-being. Global Healing's Foreign Protein Cleanse detoxes your body of spike proteins, which allows your body to repair from within, supporting your immune and respiratory systems and regulating your inflammatory response. Formulated by Dr. Edward Group and by Dr. Brian Artis, Foreign Protein Cleanse targets and detoxes spike proteins in the body. Go to americaoutloud.shop and get 15% off using the code OUTLOUD. Global Healing, giving you the power to take control of your health naturally.
I'm so confused. I don't know what to do. I'm afraid of going to the hospital.
My doctor tells me nutrition doesn't work.
Trust is earned. We are the Energetic Health Institute, and we want to earn your trust. Natural medicine, holistic nutrition, detoxification, fasting, cellular healing, and so much more. Remember, the best way to be free is to be healthy. So stop being a patient and start being a student at energetichealthinstitute.org.
World-class care from doctors you can trust, all from the comfort of your home. That is One Wellness. Dr. Peter McCullough and his team at The Wellness Company designed the One Wellness membership to provide free monthly supplements and unlimited telemedicine access with doctors that share your values. Go to OutLoudCare.com today and use code OUTLOUD for 25% off your first month of One Wellness.
AmericaOutloud.news is beaten to the pulse of our nation. We know when you're angry, troubled, misled, joyful, and thankful. We know you because we are you. Join us as we explore the most important issues of our time. America Out Loud Talk Radio. It's a fight for the soul of humanity.
Welcome back to Nurses Out Loud on America Out Loud Talk Radio. I'm your host, Nurse Kimberly Overton. Wherever you're listening from today and whatever you're doing, I thank you for giving me the gift of your time. Be sure to make AmericaOutloud.news your daily stop for all the latest news and happenings. We all must do our part and share the stories, the articles, the podcasts, and videos so we can help secure America's future. If you're just joining us, I've been talking with holistic RN and practical homeopath and my friend, Nicole Pavlik. Nicole, thanks again for being here.
Thank you again for having me. It's my pleasure.
Absolutely. I feel like, oh my, the first half of the show just kind of flew by. I mean, we have so much to talk about, but I really want to touch on and let everybody know. I'm so excited about this, Nicole. Nicole has recently joined Remnant Nursing as a practitioner, and we are so blessed. I can't tell you how amazing it is to have somebody like Nicole who is just so dedicated, so passionate about what we're doing. But I want to know, Nicole, what was it that made you decide to come on board with us at Remnant?
Oh, Kim, I knew from day one, when I met you and found out exactly what you were doing, I knew I had to be a part of it. But so, I mean, for me here, I'm in New Jersey, and during COVID, I, wanted to do something similar. I had connected with some people we were going to do, and we were just talking New Jersey. You took on the whole United States, right? But we wanted to do something here in New Jersey as a concierge service because we were worried about our holistic minded friends not being able to receive health care. What if they broke a bone and they were being denied health care, or what if somebody had COVID and they were afraid to go to the hospital? What were we going to do for them? So we were here in New Jersey trying to figure that out. And at the time, I had just had a baby, my 7th baby. And so I wasn't in the position to actually lead that, but I was willing to help with it. And nobody was willing enough to lead it. And Kimberly, gotta hand it to you, girl. You had the balls to lead this thing and to not only take on your own state, but to try to make this work in, across the United States of America. And that, to me, you're my people. That to me is so powerful. It's so beautiful. It's so motivating. It's so inspiring. And so if I can be part of that to help you guys create this system, I mean, this is so needed. People think that because, COVID isn't like as big of a deal as it was a couple of years ago. It's not done, guys. It's not done yet. And we need to have the structure in place for when the next thing hits. And that's what you've been trying to do over the last couple of years. And I just feel like now is the time to really solidify that and make that happen. And, my daughter's a little older now, so I am able to come on board a little more hands-on. So, so here I am.
The more people that we, are getting and gathering and having come together, collaboration is really key. I don't really believe in competition. I believe in collaboration. And we know that we cannot take care of everybody at Remnant Nursing, but we want to make sure that everybody has access to safe and appropriate care. That's so important. So, aside from people that aren't joining as practitioners for Remnant, we also will refer out to other like-minded practitioners. I just don't believe in competition. So if you have your own practice, you have your own practice, you have your own thing that you're doing, and still you're willing to come on and join us, which I think is absolutely amazing, because I think it's the bigger mission. Like you said earlier, your mission is my mission is your mission. And it's all of us coming together. This fight is too big, and it's too big for any one individual, any one organization. It is really going to take all of us coming together. And that's the only way that we're going to win. And we do win. We win in the end. That's already written as far as I'm concerned. God wins in the end, and we are doing God's work.
Amen. And you know what? Del Bigtree, a couple of years ago, I was at the Warner's event in Tennessee for a leaders working group, and Del Bigtree came and he talked to us and he gave a little speech. And you know what he told us then? He told us to move out of each other's way, right? There is enough room for all of us to be doing our part. So either work together or move out of each other's way, right? But he also said to do everything that you do with God, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if we're not doing it with God, then he said we're I don't even know if I can curse on the show or not. it was
Well, they can bleep it.
yeah, so when Del Bigtree talked to us, he basically told us, that if we're not doing it with God, then we're essentially screwed, right?
Yeah.
So
Was that all you wanted to say, Nicole? Yeah, you can say screwed.
he didn't say screwed.
Okay.
He said the F word.
He said another word. Okay. Yeah, probably screwed is a better word so
Yeah,
we don't get fined.
stick with that. We're gonna stick with that. But it's just so important because, like you said, Kim, there's so much work to be done. There's so many people that need help right now. And I feel like in this next year, we're going to see an uptick in the people that really need help because a lot of people did receive that vaccine, and boosters and all of the things. And there are people that are now just coming to us that maybe weren't coming to us before. And we're going to need all hands on deck, right? We're going to need all of our resources. We're going to need all of our parallel communities that have been forming over the last couple of years. And we're going to need them all together, right? So networking, community, I love that stuff. Like I don't believe in separation either. I don't believe in competition either. I think we should all be supporting each other because it's all of our mission, right? We're trying to help people. That's why we became nurses.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm not, I don't know if this makes me the best, businesswoman ever. Like, I'm not really financially motivated. I mean, yes, I want to eventually be able to be financially sustained by what we're building here, but that isn't my main motivation at all. I really feel like if you lead with your heart, the blessings will follow. And there's no reason I should still be here 3 years later, and I don't have any income coming in, and I'm still here. Somehow I'm surviving. I don't know how my money has lasted this long. I really don't. I have no idea. But I'm still here and I'm still blessed every single day to be able to continue growing Remnant Nursing and Nurse Freedom Network. Initially, after I started Nurse Freedom Network, I took Melissa Schreibfetter's course in functional medicine. And the plan was for me to just start my own practice. But that's what I was going to do. I took the course, everything was great. And I was like, okay, and something kept telling me, no, your mission is bigger than this. And I just really wanted to be able to create these opportunities for other nurses to understand that there's a better way and to kind of pave that way for them to come on board and give them an exit plan. Because this system it's broken down so many nurses over the years, over the decades. This is not anything that is new to COVID. The system by design has been destroying nurses for probably centuries, if we think about it.
Yeah.
If we
No,
really think
Kim,
about it.
that's what, again, one of the things that I love about you. I connected with you on so many, different levels, but that was, one of the things for me, like I said in the beginning, I went into nursing and I knew I wanted to get out of it before I even started because I had already gone down the holistic route, but I stayed because I am passionate about helping people. And so I stayed in it. But once COVID hit, I looked at my husband and I said, this was an already broken system and it's going to be even more broken now. And so I left, and I mean, thank God I have a very supportive husband who, follows me through everything and just does every crazy venture that I want to do. But that was from my heart, like you. It wasn't about, oh my God, I'm going to go start my new practice and make a ton of money. No, it was, this system's broken and I'm going to be better healing people from the outside of the system. Had no idea how I was going to do that. Had, left a nursing job and had tons of school loans, right? And, my husband's tired of me going back to school and learning, right? And spending all this money doing that. But, we're doing it for a purpose, right? I believe we're doing God's work, and we're trying to help people. And so I think that's something people don't really realize sometimes is, it does take money to do the kind of things that we're doing. And I want to help people for free all the time. And a lot of times I do a lot of pro bono cases and things like that because I want to help people, but we also need to feed our families too. So I totally understand where you're coming from with that.
Yeah. Yeah. Because some people are like, oh, but it costs money. Well, we do provide a service, but at Remnant, we provide an exceptional service that people are not, I think it's worth well more than what we're charging, but I really wanted to make it accessible at $30 a month. People are paying more than that for their streaming services. So
For
at
their
$30 a
copays.
month, I mean, seriously, at $30 a month, I don't think that is, um, that it's out of reach for people. And it's something that we're literally building from nothing. We don't have any financial backing. We are building this and creating and investing in this ourselves. And I think that's going to be life changing for all of us to be able to be a part of creating this system that I feel like is going to be, it's going to be here a lot longer than we are. That's my hope.
Yeah. And I think it's going to be necessary, Kim. Unfortunately, I think in the next couple of years, there's going to be a lot of people who need us. And, we want to be well established and well structured and able to, in order to be able to provide that kind of care for the people that are going to need us. But we need, that backing from the people right now.
Exactly, because if we don't have a strong foundation, we are just going to crumble, and we can't. And that's why I've kind of been really slow with putting Remnant out. And it's been about, I guess it's not really slow, but it feels to me like it's taking forever. But I really wanted to be sure that we were giving something of value. I don't want to just take your money every month and be like, yeah, we're going to be building something great, and then have nothing for you, nothing to show for it. Already we're making a real difference for people. We are getting people well. They can see the difference. The practitioners see the difference. The clients see the difference, and we're able to provide care in a meaningful way. That there's something to be said for that. So I think that, yes, it does cost some money, but again, it's well worth the investment, in my opinion, and I think in the opinion of everybody that's come into contact with what we're doing and what we're building.
Amen. Absolutely. I agree, Kim.
Yeah. Now, so I'm excited about this. I sent an email out today. I'm really super excited about this because, yes, you are coming on board as a practitioner, but you are also coming on board to provide education, which I know you're passionate about. I am super passionate about it. As an allopathically trained nurse, and I know many of these nurses coming out of the system are very allopathically trained as well. We've got to get them trained up in these more holistic modalities. So for members of Remnant Nursing, you are coming on board and you are going to provide this basic gateway to homeopathy. And I think it's intro to 1 and 2 to homeopathy, at a ridiculously discounted rate. I mean, this is it's a 3-month course. You get certified. I believe the base is it's $277, and then the books are separate, correct?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
And they're not expensive. They're like $60 a piece. So for less than $500, well under $500, you're going to have this incredible opportunity to learn under Nicole Pavlik, to have her guidance. But I'm going to have you kind of tell a little bit about the course and what people can expect.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I just want to say, yeah, I like to keep things, again, low cost because I believe that, everybody should be learning this right now. This has been one of my biggest passions. I've had lots of education in, obviously conventional nursing and then in holistic nursing, but then I found true health and healing in homeopathics. And I feel like everybody can use this, families can use this, but also practitioners should be using this with their patients. It's something that, people can use in conjunction with conventional medicine. So I feel like this is just something that everybody can learn something from. And I do get a lot of nurses in the classes that I teach on my own because they understand these protocols, right? When they're coming from a conventional model, this is easy for them to understand exactly a diagnosis and what protocol to use for it. And we teach that in the class. So we teach, this is Joette Calabrese material. It's her Gateway 1 and 2 courses, which I'm a global leader for. I've been teaching it for many years. And it gives you a little bit of an introduction about homeopathy, some classical homeopathy. And then we talk more about practical homeopathy. So just from the course, you're going to learn, immediately you're going to learn remedies that you can use. You're going to learn conditions that you can treat. You're going to learn different protocols, and all of that. And I, essentially just lead you through and help you understand and clarify the material, give you stories to kind of back your education up with, experiences, case studies. All of those things are going to enhance your learning with this. And then we also decided to add in a little bit extra. So normally you're just getting the Gateway 1 and Gateway 2 courses, but we actually decided to add in 2 things that we're having success with on our own. So the one thing is going to be parasite detox with homeopathy, which is huge right now. Everybody needs to be doing a parasite detox right now. And this is the most safe and effective way that I can tell you how to do it is with homeopathy. And once you understand homeopathy, you'll understand more why that is. So you're going to learn about parasite detoxing with homeopathy and how it's different from conventional and even holistic methods. And then we have another component that we're adding to it, which is brand new to us. We have somebody that, Kimberly was introduced to and we're working with now, who has a homeopathic detox protocol for the vax injured and for people experiencing long haulers COVID symptoms. So I'm going to be educating you guys about that protocol, as well as getting you guys that price that you guys are paying is also going to include your homeopathic detox kit. In case you want to try it out yourself or try it on, you enroll any of your clients in the case studies. So this is a program that has a 90 to 95% effective rate, and it's an ongoing case study right now. So it's brand new to us. But by January, we should have a lot more feedback because myself and another of Kimberly's members of Remnant are also trying it right now. So we're going to be educating you on that as well. So it's extra. It's not just the normal course. You guys are getting some extras in with that. So it's going to be super exciting. It's going to be super fun. The classes are always great because they're engaging. They're not boring. I'm not lecturing you. You guys are engaging and interacting, and it's a lot of fun. You build this network and community of like-minded people, and you get that community help from the people that have already been through the course as well. So it's really an amazing course. And I hope everybody joins us in January.
Yeah, I'm really, really excited about this. I'm going to be taking the class myself. So definitely come on board and take it with me. And we are going, and we mentioned earlier, you were talking about that I was taking on the United States. I have actually taken on the whole world. So the PMA is global.
Okay. Look at that. Of course you
do. So even if you're not in the United States, if you're in another country, our PMA is global. So we can accept members from, around the globe. So if you're in New Zealand, Australia, the UK, China, Singapore, which apparently we have a really big following in Singapore. So if you're listening in Singapore and you want to come on and learn some practical homeopathy, become a member of Remnant Nursing today, and you will have access to this exclusive course with Nicole Pavlik. I'm so incredibly excited about it. Just cannot wait.
Exciting. Of course you took on the whole country. I mean, the whole world.
Yeah, go big or go home. That's what I always say, right? But I think we're getting we're getting to that point though, where like you said earlier, things are starting to come together. People are starting to realize we exist. That's a big thing. I think we're doing great work, and we're building our structure and our foundation, and that is where, the membership is crucial to being able to sustain our model. It is a very self-sustainable model, but people need to know that we exist. And so doing that, getting members, like I said, even it's just $30 a month. So even if you don't need our services right now, for $1 a day, you can be supporting this incredibly needed, mission and ministry. So, if you're able to do it, we would love for you to join. It's remnantnursing.org. You can also make donations. We are a nonprofit, 508c1a nonprofit. And then again, we have a Nurse Freedom Network, where we are a 501c3 nonprofit, making your donations there tax deductible. So we would love your support, and we appreciate your support. Well, Nicole, we're running out of time. This has to be the fastest show. I think, I feel like the time just flew by, and I have so much more I wanted to talk about regarding homeopathy, but I'm going to make sure that we link everything in the show notes for any of you who are listening and excited to learn more about Nicole's course and what she's got to offer at Goodness Grover PMA. We would definitely make sure we get all of that information for you. Nicole, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your heart, your passion, and for everything you're doing with us at Remnant Nursing. We will have you back on the show because there's so much more to talk about. I figured let's come back in March after the course, and we'll kind of do a recap.
That sounds amazing. Thank you so much, Kim, for having me on. And just thank you from the bottom of my heart for all that you're doing for everybody across the world.
Thank you. Thank you, Nicole. Well, that's all the time that we have for today, friends. But remember, we are here on the air 5 days a week, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, with a different nurse host daily. You can also catch the encore at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please be sure to tune in and listen to myself and my amazing sister nurses. As we walk you through all of these hot topics, we will empower you with information and education. We will advocate, and we will stand in the gap for you, because we are nurses and this is what we do. I'm your host, Nurse Kimberly Overton, and you can find me here every Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern. Until next time, be safe, be well, and God bless. Remember, we are in a war for truth. We are putting out a bounty on the real misinformation and exposing the purveyors of propaganda. No topic is off limits as we shine our lights and expose the darkness.
It's time